Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode from TCG353. I am Jamie and today we are playing Black Emu into some meta matchups and some more obscure decks that you might not have seen. So if you like this type of content, leave a like, and without further ado, let's go into the big bad of the format, a matchup against Purple Enel, where we are going second. I do believe our opponent chooses to go first because it's Enel we're playing against and they love going first. We've not played in our turn. Our opponent chooses to swing 6 into us, and what we're guessing is going to be 7, so we give them 2k counter to start and take the 7. We are on 3 life. It's our 4th turn, or it's our 4th on turn. We swing into the Ohm, of course, to get that swinger off the field. If our opponent had more than one cost, we would have swung into life there. Potentially, yeah, because all our bodies are 5k, so everything can get Mamaraganed anyway. So the Ohm having minus 1k power isn't too important for this matchup. We play out a Saturn, and with that we draw into Warkery, and we then swing into our opponent. Our opponent swings into us, and now we're on 2 life. They swung 7, we let them have that. Fortunately for us, our opponent plays out a Reiju, but does not have the Reiju ability online just yet, and even if they did, Marcus Mars goes to original cost and not onto anything else, and not onto the +4 cost that Reggie would have. So we're able to KO that, swing 7 into them, and they take, so our opponent's now at 3 life. And finally, we are starting to see our opponent put down Enels onto the board. We consider for a second to block out of that 6k swing, but instead we give them 2k counter. Our hand is looking very strong now and very defensive. We would like to play out some of those horses to get some presence on the board with that. However, the Enel is not turned sideways, and we would rather the Enel to be turned sideways for that. So we play out the Jupiter instead, and past turn our opponent's on 6 down. We have 2 life, they have 3. They have a big body on board with the Enel. We'll see if they're able to play into another Enel, which would be scary for us, no doubt. Our opponent chooses to Mamaragan and attach an active Dawn to themselves. Use the Senior Pink to pull the Mamaragan back and go into her life again, or rather to swing 6 into her life and swing 11. So they just use the Mamaragans there to go aggressive into her life, which is one way of doing it, I guess. I mean, they're not really too afraid of the clapback this turn because they have 3 life, and it's hard for us to take Enels off board. And of course, if they're able to use Senior Pink to loop Mamaragans, they can always rest their blockers. So maybe they're playing for the next turn where they'd be able to rest blockers and go for game that way. It's hard to know. Our hand is actually very strong at the moment because we have the 10 cost Elders, but saying that we only have 1, if we pull 1 into the Saturn, then it will allow us to play longer, but since we only have 1, we choose to swing with leader first. Swing 7, our opponent gives us 2 and a 1. Swing 7, our opponent is thinking on how to counter here, and they take. Their hand size is quite big, so yeah, no surprise that they have a 2k and a 1k to give for our next 7k swing. And what we do here next is, in my opinion, risky and interesting. So we play out the Elder and we start counting up our Dawn. So we have 4 8, 10, 11k counter in hand, and the Garp event, which is 1k counter and 2k counter because we'll pull a 2k back from hand. So our opponent only has 3 swings. We know they have Mamaragans in hand, so we choose instead to go aggressive with our Warkery and swing 8 into them, which they take. They use Senior Pink to pull a Mamaragan back from life, which we knew was going to happen already. They just use the Senior Pink there to get the leader ability active. They swing 7 into us, we give 2k and the Garp 1k, so now we are in quite a good spot defensively. We give a 4k event and a 2k that we pull back. Our opponent swings 10 into our Jupiter, which we actually kind of didn't see coming there, but because last turn we used this, we used the event, the Elders aggressively, we have potentially an 11k and a 15k swing on board with 2 5s. so we would have been able to whittle down our opponent's hand size quite easily. You can see there our opponent did have a lot of Mammaraggans in hand, so they were hoping for us to leave up our blockers there so they could use the Mammaragan and get aggressive that sort of way. But we didn't. We kept up the pace with aggression by swinging those, and it turned out in our favour in the end. Good game to our opponent, and let's go into the next game against Vivi, who is kind of coming into the meta more as a contender rather than a rogue deck, thanks to their removal protection and their very strong defense. We are going second. Thankfully, our opponent is going first. It's turn 2 now. We've searched with Shalria, which is fortunate, and we pulled an event. Our opponent swings 8 into us. We take that, of course, even though we do have it on up for it. There's no point in giving it away now. We would like to draw from life. We trash the Warkery straight away and pull into a Shalria, which we will use and fill up our board with more Warkeries because we already have enough of them. In our trash, we use a Saturn now, and we are searching out probably one of the horses, since we can see that there's 2 in life, or 2 in that hand, and we have none in our hand at the moment. It's best to pull that right now so that we can guarantee pulling that with leader ability later on. Our opponent plays out the Nami, swings 7 into us, and we take that. They use leader ability to grant it rush. We now use the horse and consider what to do for a second. Just having that on the field, by the way, is scary enough that our opponent may not want to give us too much counter, because we can always swing into the Nami. That being said, we only have 9 cards in trash, so if our opponent was aware of that, then they wouldn't have been afraid of that rush at all. The rush was active, of course, but we didn't have the minus 2k effect online just then, but we do have it now. Our opponent plays out a Vivi into a Shakampel and tries to get a double attack off, which we do not let. They swing 7 into our Saturn, which we let go, of course, and our opponent passes turn after we defend out of their 9k swing. We now have a Mars on board, and with the Mars we try and use the Mars ability to KO their Nami. They don't let that happen, which is cool. So we swing 7 into it, 7 into 5. We use the minus ability here, and we'll see if our opponent gives us a 2k and a 1k. They let that go, so it's either their hand is bricked up or they just don't see the point of defending it, because we would have swung into it again. Them having more bodies on board is just very frustrating for us to deal with, and we don't trash with the Emu ability now, because our hand is pretty strong. We have 2 4k events which we want to keep. We have a Celestial Dragon which we don't want to get rid of, or we have 5 Elders which we don't want to get rid of, and we have 2 2ks, and I believe the Jupiter is something that we need in trash as well. And so using the leader ability to get in the trash is less efficient in my opinion, because it being in hand as a 2k is quite strong. Our opponent uses leader ability to put the horse down to 3k. We consider for a second blocking out of this, but and we will, yes we will, of course, because we can counter this here. And with the way our opponent sequenced, I don't believe this Nami has rush, so they actually can't swing into the horse anymore. And then we have that minus 2 ability active, which would be very strong since we are going to use it for the next turn, or for the 5 Elders. We'll be able to pull another horse out and put it down to minus 2 and swing leader into it. So they're going to end up giving us a lot of cards for that. We're also using the Mars ability here. So if they want to let the Nami go and use the leader ability on Shaq and Pell, that's up to them. They choose to trash a card to keep the blocker up, and now we swing 7 to 5, see what they want to give us. They give us the block, and now we will swing 7 into 5 again, considering what we really want to do here, and we actually end up swinging 9 into the 5, because we reckon if we can get that off the board, then our opponent doesn't have the level of aggression that they probably want to have. If they did have a Sanjion blockable, then that would have hurt, definitely. If they had 2 Sanjion blockables, maybe they could have got game. But they didn't, and we were able to get rid of it, so that is all well. our opponent uses the leader ability to give Ain rush and minus power to the horse. We don't actually have a Celestial Dragon in hand, but we sure are going to look for it. We use the event to search, we use Shall Read to search. Shall Read searches a Saturn. The Saturn finally pulls into the 5 Elders. So we have a decision now to make whether we want to use the 5 Elders here to like refresh our board, but we will have no down up for events. And I'm pretty sure this Vivi uses some Sanji unblockable blocker. They also have an Alabasta unblockable card that is potentially scary for us. Since we're able to clear off board here, it's not important for us anymore to play out the 5 Elder. We can play it out if we'd like to, but not crack the ability, but instead we use the Walkery to set down a blocker, and now we are feeling very confident. If they are able to use an unblockable, then they'll only be able to get 1 life off us and we'll get them in the crackback, and that's what happens here. They get the unblockable off and take 1 life from us, and now it's our turn to go aggressive. Swing 7 into them, swing 7 again, and now we're just counting how many cards and what's the best way to do it. It actually is just 2s and 7s is still the best way to do it, and since they give us 3 1Ks there, it doesn't matter how we sequence it. We swing 7 and they have no cards in hand, no defense left, and no way out. Good game to our opponent. We were just able to get our leader ability online quite quickly, and we never went down to low enough life that one of their unblockable events would actually come into play. I think our opponent must have been very bricked out to not be able to protect the Shack and Pel halfway through the game, because maybe they would have liked to do that to be more aggressive with the double attack. Anyway, good game to them, and let's go into the next one. It's against Red Green Luffy, who is a hard deck to play against 100%, because it has so much defense, similar enough to Emu, but what Red Green Luffy has in this meta that Emu kind of doesn't is the ability to freeze and rest. Luna and Baby Luna, the Supernova event, are so relevant in the meta at the moment that Red Green Luffy being able to use those cards just gets a great amount of benefit. Just to catch up on what's after happening here, we use our Saturn just then to search. Our opponent plays down to 4 cost Zoro, which sets 2 down as active, attaches 1 down to the leader and swings 6. We take that. Now we're up to date. We swung 5 into the leader, and they of course give us leader ability. Our first swing into their leader actually landed, so our opponent is on 3 life. They play out the double punch Luffy, the Fishman, and they play out an Usopp as well. Now note, our opponent doesn't have leader ability online because they weren't able to attach Don with the sequencing of their card turn, but they have put a lot of strong bodies on board. So it's not like they're really in that much of a bad spot. We play out the Marcus Mars, and of course we are going to KO the Usopp, not the Zoro. The Zoro is frustrating and annoying because it's hard to swing into it because it always sends active, but the Usopp is so much stronger in this matchup for Luffy as a deck. They play the 5 cost Sanji and attach it on with leader, swing 6. They swing 5 with Zoro. We consider what to do here. We give them 2k. They now swing 7 with that Luffy, and we could use event, but we choose instead to use blocker, and they play out the Usopp, and this time they do have leader ability active. It would be very nice to be able to get a Marcus Mars, which is why we are going to search, and look what we find here. We find a Mars. We're going to use leader ability on that, trash a horse from hand, and KO that Usopp. Thankfully we're able to get it off the board because that would be very frustrating to keep on playing against, and we leave our opponent alone. We don't swing into them because we have nothing to swing into. Our opponent uses the Nami now and rests a bunch of our characters, or rests both of our characters. We take the 7k swing here. Yeah, we do. Because there's no point in not, because the double attack is probably going to come through. Now that we only have 1 life, double attack doesn't do much against us, so we are just protecting now to keep our life up, and our opponent with 3 down left actually swings with the weenie character just to get more cards out of our hand, I guess. And now we have 2 characters standing, so we're just going to chip away at our opponent for a second to get some leader ability out of hand. Swing 5, and we have a slight misplay here where we should have just used leader ability first to crack the Saturn to get 1 more card in hand. Just forgot to totally, so that is a slight error. We're searching with the Saturn, and we could get the Celestial Dragon, but we choose instead to get a 2k. And now we're deciding on what we want to pop with the Marcus Mars, and if we want to pop something, we choose the Sanji. We could choose the Nami, but I don't think we're going to get bodies off the board this turn, so we don't see the point of it totally. We swing 8 into our opponent, and now if we want to go full on in, we could probably get 1 life off them, but we wouldn't have done up for event, and if they do have another Nami in hand, we're in a bit of trouble then. So we decide to swing into the little weenie character, and we should have done that from the start, to be honest, because as you can see here, our opponent has so much leader ability in hand that they can block and get out of that, and we make a huge error there in that we trash the Walkery instead of the Saturn. We're still getting used to the alt there. It's a bit like yourself, a bit like anyone who plays against Emu, and the Emu has these really cool arts. It's just kind of hard to see from far away. So the Walkery we trashed, which was a massive error. We know that, but what can you do? We'll keep on playing and see if we can get something back. It's not looking very likely for us at the moment, to be honest. Our opponent swings 5 into us. We give them 4k counter for that, and our opponent also makes a mistake here. All they had to do was split their Dawn, but they make a mistake just like us where they attach all their Dawn to Nami and swing into us, and we actually have a blocker up for that. A bit of friendly banter there back and forth between myself and my opponent. We both made mistakes. I think both of our mistakes cancelled out. By looking at their hand there, they actually didn't have many plays to go for next turn. They really didn't. Not much for board was Lunad, and if they played up the Zoro, then they wouldn't have much down left up for leader ability. Yes, they would have been 7k, but every one of my swingers was 7k as well. So yeah, good game to our opponent, and I think both of our negatives meant that it was still a good game in the end. I hope you enjoyed that one. We're now playing against into Red Green Smoker, who's after getting some added benefits in EBO4. I do believe we might see some of the new tech cards happening in this game here. What we do first is search, pull out a Marcus Mars, and now drop a Saturn to search again, and we are searching for a Jupiter. Or we pull a Searcher rather, just to build up our trash a bit more. It's now turn 3, our opponent is on 5 down. We'll see if they play down that Smoker card. Yeah, that's it, Tashigi even. Really good card, has banish, and you can activate main, so it works very well with this leader to allow you to active 3 down every single turn, which is extremely strong. We swing 5 into them, see what they do. They take, we search and find a Mars. We already had one in hand, so it's not like we absolutely needed it, but it will be useful if they do have another. We obviously crack that Smoker because it's going to be a nuisance, and we use leader ability on Saturn to draw a card. Our hand is looking very strong now. We'll see what our opponent does. They have an X-Drake out who protects supernova type characters, so basically X-Ray can't be removed from the field, which is all well and good. We use leader ability immediately to get rid of the Marijoa. We're not going to use it, of course, so there's no point to having it. Let's just get the draw and see what we can get. On an 8 on turn, we could put down a 4 cost, but we are not seeing any of those in hand, so we put down the Jupiter, and now we are spreading out our Dawn in a way that we like. We swing 7 into their Smoker and consider swinging with our Bird. We do, of course, and we swing 8 because they already give us an AK event, so we are hoping to swing 8 and If they want to give us an 8K or 3K event and 1K counter, that would be absolutely fine. They swing 7 into our bird, and we give them 2K and Garp 1K to pull back that 2K. This Garp card is very, very strong in the deck. They pull out one of the cool new cards that smokers after getting in this meta or in EB, and it is the rush card that gives your Navy type leader 2K power or makes it a 7,000 power leader on your opponent's turn. So now the smoker is 7,000. We play out a Marcus Mars raw and try and KO this Supernova X-Rake, and the text on the Supernova X-Rake is this: you minus your leader by 2K power to protect a body. So their 7K leader is now 2 or 5K because they protected that. And look what we're going to do here now. We're going to play out Marcus Mars again. We're going to play out a Marcus Mars again and actually get the KO off this time because it's only once per turn. We also have the horse on field, so we are going to swing 7 into their leader and they have to take. If they have a Goldie Roger here, they can use it. Our hand is pretty strong in counter. We're looking at 7K counter in hand and 2 life left standing up, so we're fine. Our opponent swings 7 into us, we counter this. Our opponent swings 8 into us and it doesn't matter, we have 2 life, so they can't actually punch through. We had counter for the 8 as well, but our opponent couldn't punch through, so it was all well and good. Good game to our opponent. They did use their deck very well, but it just turned out that we were able to remove the unremovable targets and be aggressive with our 5 elders in the end. So good game, and let's go into our final game of the episode. It's against Blue Jinbe, who has a very, very strong matchup against Lucy, so you may see it more and more in the meta, and it's a 7 Warlord and a C package that is being run. You see our opponent searches for a Perfect Femur here, which is very good against our deck, but it is also a brick in their hand. We, on our second turn, on turn 2, when we have 3 Dawn, play out this Rosewad, I believe it is, and it KOs cost 3 or less, 2 cost 3 or less from your opponent's side, so we are able to get the Erlang off the board, which is actually very strong, and also get the 1 cost Sengoku off the board as well, which may not be that relevant, but getting the Erlang away is very helpful. Now we are searching with our Saturn, and we swing 5 into Jinbe. They take. I think they could have gotten a free block there if they'd like to, but they choose not to. Maybe they just want to draw and build up their hand size. We're not too sure. Our opponent plays out a Weevil into an Erlang. They must have set up the Erlang from life with that Boa Hancock, which is quite cool. And our opponent's hand size is actually fairly massive. We are on an odd turn here, so getting to our 5 elders will take a bit longer this game. So we have to bear that in mind. We play out the Marcus Mars here and we KO their Boa Hancock because the blocker will be annoying, and we're able to swing 2 5s at them because of that. We, rather than keeping Dawn up for the events that we have, we use our 4 cost blocker. So we did have an option to swing 2 7s there, but rather than that, or even just 2 6s and keep 2 Dawn up for the blockers, or 6 and 7. We chose to put the blocker down because the blocker will help us draw 1, and our opponent actually doesn't have that many swings on board currently. Our opponent plays another Erlang, so they do have a lot of those in hand. We let the Saturn go because we kind of it would have been smarter to keep the pig on board, or to get rid of the pig, sorry, but just to get the draw off. But we also had plans for next turn where we wanted to swing big swings, and so we swing 7 with our bird, we swing 7 with our pig, and now we play out another pig, and we have 2 Dawn standing for events, so we're not going to get taken out this turn, that's absolutely certain. And if the opponent wants to play their boss Jinbe, then it might be hard for them to break through because we do have so much counter, and we could probably get them on the crackback if they choose to remove characters, or if they choose to go all in. They don't actually. And because they can't bounce characters back to my hand, they choose to bounce an Erlang back to their own hand, which is fair enough. Maybe they would have rather bounced the 2k back to hand, but you never know. Swing 6 into our bird, we give him 2k counter for that, and now the Jinbe can pretty much do what it wants. Yeah, pretty much can, and it chooses to swing 10 into our 5, which we will give. We could use 5 elders and be safe here, but we have our opponent we know has pulled a perfect femur, and I think they have 2 in the course of this game. They pulled 2, so we are actually going to go aggressive into life. Swing 7, 8, 8. We had a horse in hand, you see, so we didn't really need to go all in with our characters there with the Don, and now we're just considering on what the best line is, and we're trying to count up what cards they have in hand. I think there is a way to get lethal guaranteed, and it was that our opponent's hand was bricked up, but that 7 there would have asked for 2 cards in hand, 2k and a 1k, and then our 9 would have asked for a 2k, 2k and a 1k, which they could have had, in all fairness, but it would have been more difficult. Then I forget what the other line was it 14? I'm not sure. Sometimes I make these lines and I'm not incredibly certain about it, but I think it is the best way and it worked out there. So that is the end of the episode. I hope you liked this. I hope you liked watching a bit of Black Emu, because it isn't played all that much anymore, but it is still an incredibly strong deck. Once you get online and you're 10 down turns, it is fun to play. It's not fun to play against, and that's the sign of a great deck, in my opinion. I have a lot of Lucy gameplay from when I was recording this, and I'm actually going to make a separate video on that and talk through it. I lost a good few games, but I won some as well. And I think I learned a lot about the matchup, and it is a matchup that you will see as Emu playing in OP15. So I'm going to make that video. I hope you guys want to see that. If you want to see any other videos, let me know in the comments. I love doing this, and I love hearing from you guys and talking with you guys. So please leave comments, please leave likes if you like the content, and consider subscribing if you want to keep on watching. All that being said, thanks so much for watching the video, supporting the channel, and helping me out do this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye now.